Abraham Lincoln, the president who fought depression. Abraham Lincoln is remembered as the most admired president in American history, the father of emancipation, a symbol of unbreakable determination. In history books, he is always portrayed as a confident and great leader. But did you know that behind those glorious titles was a man who spent his entire life fighting thoughts of wanting to die? Lincoln once described himself this way: "I am now the most miserable man living. If what I feel were equally distributed to the whole human family, there would not be one cheerful face on earth." This was not an exaggeration. His friends genuinely feared that he might take his own life. They removed knives and razors from around him. That was how serious his condition was. Today, we will look beyond the heroic figure of history and explore the real Lincoln, a man who had to battle the invisible enemy of severe depression every single day. And we will follow his remarkable psychological journey to see how he found light within that darkness. A life marked by loss. Lincoln's depression was not simply a matter of personality. His life itself was a series of profound losses. From an early age, he was forced to confront the harsh reality of death. When he was just 9 years old, he lost his beloved mother. What kind of scar was carved into the heart of that young boy, crying in a poor log cabin while holding his mother's cold hand? A few years later, his sister Sarah, his only sibling, died during childbirth. Lincoln was left feeling utterly alone in the world. Psychology tells us that repeated losses during childhood can leave deep, lifelong emotional wounds. But the greatest blow came in his 20s. At 26, Lincoln fell deeply in love with a woman named Anne Rutledge. She was the first light in his dark world. But in 1835, she died suddenly from an epidemic. Lincoln collapsed under the weight of grief. On stormy nights, he ran to her grave, crying, "I cannot bear to leave her alone in the rain." His friends watched him around the clock, fearing he might lose his sanity. Psychologically speaking, Lincoln possessed what was once called a melancholic temperament. People with this disposition are extremely sensitive to external stimuli, deeply empathetic to others' pain, and profoundly affected by injustice and suffering. Such individuals often become artists or poets, but they are also highly vulnerable to depression. Lincoln was aware of this part of himself. He once told a friend, "When I see a horse dying in the street, it seems as if its pain enters into my own body." The crisis of 1841. In January 1841, at the age of 32, Lincoln experienced the worst mental breakdown of his life. He was engaged to Mary Todd, but he was unsure whether he truly loved her or could bear the responsibility of marriage. Political ambition, personal insecurity, and financial stress overwhelmed him all at once. He fell into a severe nervous collapse. For weeks, he could not get out of bed. He refused food. He stopped speaking with friends. A physician reportedly said that his recovery seemed unlikely. Once again, those around him removed all dangerous objects from his surroundings. Knives, razors, even ropes. But at the very bottom of despair, Lincoln began to experience a subtle shift in his thinking. The question changed from, "How can I eliminate this pain?" to, "How can I live with this pain?" After months of struggle, he slowly began to recover. He wrote to a friend, "I have been in a state worse than death, but I know that I must remain in this world because there is still something for me to do." Acceptance, humor, and meaning. The first key to Lincoln's recovery was acceptance. He stopped seeing depression as a disease to be cured or a weakness to be conquered. Instead, he began to accept it as part of himself, something he would carry throughout his life. This aligns closely with what modern psychology calls acceptance and commitment therapy, acknowledging painful emotions while continuing to act according to one's values. Lincoln also developed a unique coping mechanism, humor. He was a gifted storyteller who could find humor in any situation. If I had two faces, do you think I would be wearing this one? This famous self-deprecating joke was more than wit. Psychologically, it was a sophisticated defense mechanism that allowed him to distance himself from his pain and observe it with objective perspective. But his most powerful weapon was meaning. He asked himself, why must I endure this suffering? Why must I continue living? The answer he found was not personal happiness, it was purpose. The reason I must survive is because there is still work I must do in this world. This reflects the same principle later described by Viktor Frankl, the psychologist who survived Nazi concentration camps. Frankl wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Lincoln gave his suffering a mission. It was not simply about individual fulfillment, it was about the larger cause of abolishing slavery and preserving the Union. He did not hide his melancholy. Instead, he channeled that deep sadness into genuine mourning for the tragedies of war. He came to view even Confederate soldiers not as enemies to hate, but as brothers who needed healing. Empathy as strength. Psychological research suggests that people who have experienced depression often develop heightened emotional sensitivity. The experience of pain can sharpen one's ability to understand and connect with others' suffering. For Lincoln, this became an extraordinary strength, almost a superpower. During the Civil War, he received daily lists of young soldiers who had died on both sides. To him, they were not merely casualties or statistics. They were sons. They were someone's beloved child. He reportedly knelt alone at night in his office, praying and weeping for them. His secretary testified to hearing the president sobbing behind closed doors on multiple occasions. His face aged dramatically during the war years. Deep lines and shadows marked his features. Yet those who met him in person often said, "His face looked the saddest I had ever seen. But when he looked into my eyes, I felt that my soul was truly understood." Lincoln refused to hate the Confederacy. Having learned to navigate his own internal storms, he could steady the ship of state through the nation's greatest tempest. Near the end of the war, in his second inaugural address, he spoke words that could only come from someone who had wrestled with profound inner darkness, with malice toward none, with charity for all. The resilience he gained from passing through depression's darkness became the wellspring of the leadership that reunited America. A message for today. Lincoln never completely cured his depression. Even in the White House, occupying the most powerful position in the nation, he still struggled. Some mornings, rising from bed felt like an impossible task. But he demonstrated something profound to the world. A person with mental illness, a person who thinks about death every morning, an imperfect person struggling with inner demons. That person can still accomplish world-changing work. Perhaps it was precisely because of his suffering that he became capable of such extraordinary compassion and leadership. If you are struggling right now, if waking up feels frightening, if simply surviving the day feels like war, remember Lincoln's story. He might whisper to you, that sorrow did not come to destroy you. It came to expand your heart, to deepen your capacity to understand, to empathize, and someday to comfort someone else who walks through similar darkness. How is your heart today? Share your thoughts in the comments. We stand with you, always on the side of your healing heart. Your subscription and support help this channel continue to bring hope and understanding to many more people. Thank you.